What's going on YouTube? Dr. Ironbat Prime 2.0 back at again with another video and or Noah if you know me very well. And as this video entitles, these are my top 10 favorite superheroes outside of the world of Marvel and DC comics. Now, let me just say this. I love Marvel and DC a lot. Like, when it comes to comics, those two are like my jam and everything. But I figured I'd talk about some comic book characters and or superheroes outside of those two worlds. So I'm basically going to be talking about, sorry about no Marvel or DC heroes and even Valiant Comics characters. I basically want to keep this list like very attached to, characters outside of those comic book worlds. So I figured I'd talk about these because, they barely get enough spotlight and I barely talk about them on my channel. So I thought it'd be cool to just, talk about some of these characters in the world of comics, just to, in a way get in the spirit of top 10s and superheroes. So let's kick this list off at number 10. Kicking the list off at number 10 is the Spirit. He's just an overall a detective-like hero, and the costume's very detective-like, and he's just a mysterious character. He's basically a comic book character that's been around for a very long time. He has a thing for wearing a mask and suit, and he's a detective. And there's a lot more to say about him, but overall, I think the Spirit just has a thing for just being, probably in the top 10 when it comes to detectives, even though he was an honorable mention for me, because I did a list on, on my top 10 favorite detectives in the world of comics, but he's overall a good one. Number 9 on the list is the Phantom. He's considered to be older than Batman and Superman, who are literally the first two superheroes in the world of comics. But the Phantom has been around a lot longer than them. He's just an overall comic book character that's been around way before Marvel and DC were invented. And he was also one of the first comic book characters to wear a skin-tight suit. And also wear a mask without, with just having white eyes. And not to mention, and he has a movie of his own, played by Billy Zane. And I'll admit, that movie is a little cheesy, but I do own it on DVD and I'll watch it every now and then. So, there's that. Number 8 on the list is Judge Dredd. He's pretty much like a very C&D-less kind of character. I really like the fact that he's like a cop from the future and, has a thing for law enforcement. And there's a lot more to say about Judge Dredd, but overall, I think he's cool. And even though he did get his own movie in the 90s, which was kind of lame, he got a better one back in 2012, played by Carl Urban. And I would highly recommend watching Dredd. You'll love it. Number 7 goes to the Umbrella Academy. I just overall like the Umbrella Academy because, most of us might be familiar with the Netflix series, but I just overall like the characters, like the story arc, and just things about them. I just like the fact they're, in a way, related to the X-Men, but they're not 100% X-Men related, but they also have their own comics, their own characters, and I just overall enjoy it all. And there's a lot more to say about them. I mean, I would highly recommend reading all three of the, comics. I mean, there's so much to learn about, Umbrella Academy. And if you haven't read the comics, I would highly recommend reading them. Along with checking out their Netflix series, it's one of my favorite shows. And yet, the comic and show will still continue. Number 6 on the list goes to Hellboy. A lot of people are familiar with Hellboy because of the movies, but he's been around a lot longer, and I'm just a fan of the art style of the comics. The movies are pretty good, and I just overall like Hellboy because, of many reasons. He's just an overall character that's just been popular ever since he was first popped up in comic books. And I just like the whole supernatural stuff about him. And he has a couple movies of his own where he's played by Ron Perlman and David Harbour. But overall, I enjoy the character a lot. He's just a very muscular character and just, he's Hellboy. He's a crazy, insane character when it comes to just fighting monsters and supernatural creatures. Halfway at number 5 is Invincible. For those of you who don't know who he is, I guess you could say he's like a combination of Superman, but living in like a Spider-Man life where he's a teenager, but he has Superman powers. And there's a lot to talk about him, but I'll probably save that for another episode or video on my channel. But best way of saying it, here's a way of saying on why he's on my list. I just like the story arc of how his father was Omni-Man, and he was in a way inspired by his father. But in a way, I also just like the overall origin and everything about him, and even the costume. And I could go on and on talking a little bit more about him, but I'd be here a while. And he has his own show coming soon to Amazon Prime. And I'm overall looking forward to that show. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not even going to be kid-friendly. Number 4 on the list is Kickass. I've been a fan of Kickass for a very long time. I mean, I love the movie, I love the comic. Heck, I cosplayed as him, and I just overall love and enjoy the character a lot. Like, there's just so much to say about Kickass. I've just overall been a fan and enjoyed this comic ever since I even first saw the movie. The second one is good as well, and he even has like his own comic book story that's going on where he is actually a she. I mean, I just overall enjoy the comic. But overall, I just love and enjoy the movie. It's like one of the reasons I'm a fan of Kickass. I'll admit, the first one, it's good. And it's like one of my favorite movies, well, not just superhero movies, but just movies in general. But the second one, 50-50. But I'm not just a fan of Kickass the comics and story and movie, but I'm also a fan of the characters that popped into the Kickass universe, like Hit Girl, Big Daddy, Red Mist, and so many more characters. Now y'all know why I cosplayed as Kickass a while back, and why I just enjoy the character. Taking the top 3 is Optimus Prime. Now, I'm a pretty big Transformers fan at heart. I mean, heck, I'm wearing an Autobot shirt for this video. And, well, I just overall love the story arc and everything of Transformers. And I thought Optimus Prime would be, like, hitting top spot number 1. When it comes to Transformer characters. And I just overall love and enjoy everything about Optimus Prime. I mean, he has a perfect design, a perfect look. He's a leader of the Autobots, and I love how he's just in a way of a perfect leader to stop Decepticons. And I just overall love and enjoy this character, big screen and small screen. Yeah, I mean, he's also just an alien robot who's from the planet Cybertron. I mean, I'd go on and on talking about him. Maybe in the future I'll do a top 10 Transformers video. So, yeah, you might hear me rant about him in the future. Number 2 on the list is Spawn. The 90s was full of a lot of creations and things happened in the world of comic books, and Spawn is one of those things. Like, I just overall love the artwork, the character, his story, his origin. I love it all, and it was all thanks to Todd McFarlane, who is famous for doing some artwork on Spider-Man, and is also responsible for, creating Spawn. He is just an insane character and hero from hell. He's just an overall, badass looking demon, and I just love his whole story arc and everything. And not to mention, he's also has a lot of on-screen action and a lot of, comic book stuff here and there. I mean, his comic is still going on with over 300 issues till this day. He has his own animated show made back in the 90s. He had a movie in the 90s as well. And now he's getting a reboot where he's played by Jamie Foxx. And I'm just looking forward to just seeing more Spawn in the future. And taking top spot number 1 is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are what got me into comic books in the first place. Like, younger me had all the action figures and watched nonstop watched the movies and shows. I had a thing for just reading all the comics, and I was a fan. I was a diehard fan. They were the reason I got into comic books and superheroes, way before I even became a Batman fan and Spider-Man fan. They've been around since the 80s. They've just been a very popular thing ever since, and I've just overall loved and enjoyed them ever since I was a kid. Heck, they've had so many cartoons that I loved and enjoyed, and even some live-action movies here and there that are just fun to watch. I'm just an overall diehard fan of the Ninja Turtles, so now you know why they hit number 1. But I do have some honorable mentions to add in, and here are the honorable mentions. As for honorable mentions, those would go to Rocketeer, Green Hornet, Witchblade, Savage Dragon, and The Mask. And that about wraps up my list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your top 5, top 10, however many in the comments down below. I'm always reading comments. But thank you guys for watching. I really hope you like this list. But just to wrap up the video, thanks again for watching. Really hope you like this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already. Along with hang the bell down there so that way you are notified whenever I upload a new video. And don't forget to also hit thumbs up so I know you like this video or even love it. And don't forget to comment below. I'm always reading comments. And don't forget to follow me on social media, and I just might follow you guys back. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, CosplayMino, TikTok. All my social media names are right here, so follow me and I just might follow you guys back. So till my next video, this is Dr. Iron Bat Prime 2.0 signing out, and see you guys in my next video.